Hello. Well, let's just do this then. There we go. There we go. All right. We're back in business. Okay. So, yes. So as I was saying, it saves you a lot of time and money because it worked for somebody else. Doesn't necessarily mean that that exact wording is going to work for you, that that same exact technique is going to work for you. You know, just a real quick, my story, I worked for many, many years in nonprofit. And I mean, I was, offering services that people needed for so many reasons. And so I really didn't have to market anything. People were coming in droves like, yes, please, I need that, right? So I didn't have to sell anything. So when I transitioned out of nonprofit and into being a solopreneur, that was a part that I had a lot of insecurity about. And, sales, marketing, that was stuff that I just felt really befuddled. And so, of course, I was insecure and I was looking for answers, and I started, going here and there and everywhere. And I was, all over the place, and I got into a place of overwhelm, which then means you don't implement anything. And then even, I was lucky enough to be gifted some really, fabulous coaching. And even still, because they do it a certain way, they were pushing me to go, like, so as I said in the beginning, I work with the lady in the bare feet, right? They were pushing me towards the lady in the high heels. And that wasn't, within my heart, that I didn't feel in alignment with that. So what ended up actually happening is, even though it was really good advice, it wasn't for me. And my business plummeted. Actually, I did much worse. It was like $600 a month coaching that, high-end businesses use. And it wasn't working for me because I didn't realize that this is where my heart was. And I needed to stick to my guns when it came to that. And when I, returned more to my heart, business went back up. So it's going to save you time, it's going to save you money, and it's going to bring you the people that bring you joy, the people you want to work with, the people who you would just sit there and chat with all day for free. So, the peacock and the wolf. So I am going to ask you to trust my process today, right? A lot of times, big companies will go and do these corporate retreats, and they will pay thousands and thousands of dollars for these really weird, exercises and gurus to come in and give them different techniques to get out of the box. And you're going to get all of that free today at the 1099 Ladies Networking Group. So trust the process with me. I'm going to ask you to do things that might make you feel a little bit goofy. It'll only last a second. And it's okay. We're in a safe place with no judgment. So the peacock represents confidence and showing your true colors. And the wolf represents trusting your instincts and social connections. All right. So I am going to stop the share. And now I'm going to ask everybody to unmute themselves if there's not a lot of background noise. We're all here together. And as you sit in your chair, are you guys unmuted? Go ahead. Let me hear you. Say hello.
Hello.
All right. So as you, yes.
Can you tell us again what the peacock represents and what the wolf represents?
Yeah, yes. The peacock is confidence and showing your true colors. And funny story, actually, where Nola went to preschool, they had wild peacocks that would come there all the time. And I was teaching my group fitness classes. And so I would use, which we're about to do a little bit of, I would use the inspiration of the peacocks to move people around a little bit, because it's just fun and it's funny. And it just completely takes you out of your comfort zone. And then the wolf is about trusting your instincts and social connections.
Thank you.
Yes. So I just want you to breathe in through your nose and let that breath go all the way down, fill your belly. Connect your feet to the floor. And as you exhale, push out of your belly and back out through your nose. So that's a complete belly breath. And this is a wonderful way to relieve tension from your body. When you need a minute to reset, just go into at least 3 belly breaths. So connect to those belly breaths. While you're breathing, go ahead and just wiggle your toes a little bit. And then wiggle your fingers while you belly breathe. And now as we breathe, on the exhale, I want you to give me an ah. Ah.
Sorry.
Ah. What happened? One more ah. Ah. Now we're gonna let out our inner she-wolves and we're gonna give an ooh. Ready? Ooh. You hear me? Yeah.
I feel like I should throw my head back.
And one more. All right, ready? You're gonna shake those shoulders a little bit. Shake the shoulders back and forth. Hold your hands out forward and then just really give it a shimmy. Shake it all loose. This is our peacocks, right? You ever see the peacocks? When they see another male walking up to the female, they're like, right? Shake them away. Loosen everything up. Make some noise with it. All right, are you totally out of your comfort zone?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Great.
Good.
Perfect. Okay. All right, you can go ahead and mute back up if you'd like, and I'm going to go back to my screen. All right. And I don't know why this is here. Let me get rid of it. There. Okay. So now, with that pen and paper, I want to give you a few minutes to write about what do you love to do. And while you do that, I want you to just free write. Don't worry about, how you're going to use it. Don't worry about what is it for. Just start writing. What are things that you love to do? All right. Can you hear the music? anything in your life that brings you joy, anything you would do all day long for free. Give it one more minute. All right. All right. Now, if you find you want more time, please go back to these questions after we get done. You can keep writing more. This is just to give you a little bit of a chance to start working on it, because most of the time, we see all of these great things like, oh yeah, I should really do that. And then we don't, and then we end up shoulding all over ourselves. So I wanted to give you a chance to get started and not should all over yourself. I would not want to cause that. So, looking at what do you love to do? You never know how that's going to come up. I remember being just out of college, and that's really tough time to find a job, right? There you are with all this information and no experience, and not anyone's real sure they want you. And I ended up putting on my resume that I had taken martial arts in college. And would you believe that actually is what landed me my first job when they saw that I had taken martial arts. So you never know what, the hiring person or the client out there, the potential client is going to relate to. And if Linda doesn't mind, I'm going to use her as a really quick example. She just recently did a live video and she played Money by Pink Floyd. And somebody said, how could you play Pink Floyd? You're talking about financial services. And yet, when you think about, financial services professionals, right? You could throw a rock and hit like a stuffy financial services person, but who's going to remember the financial services person who is playing Pink Floyd? Right? How many people are going to remember that? That's going to stand out. So the things that you love to do are going to draw in your crowd. So let's try another one. Or not. Hold on. Let's do this. There we go. There it is. What do you do well? And this may be one of the toughest things to answer because you don't appreciate it. Everybody around you. So think about the things that maybe people compliment you on because you take it for granted. You do things so well that you're like, well, that's easy. Everybody can do that. No, they can't. So think about what it is that maybe comes easy for you. Think about things that people have complimented you on in the past. And we'll take a few minutes. Give it just another minute. All right. How did you do? I'm trying to see you all. Everybody okay?
The first one was more fun.
This one made you work a little harder?
Yeah, just, it was easier for the first one.
Yes. All right, let's try another one. What makes you different? What makes you stand out? Maybe you have a unique way of doing things. There might be 100 realtors in the room, but only one rhymes. Give it a minute. All right, you ready for the next one? Yeah, okay. Who is drawn to you? So who are the people that keep showing up in your life, in your business? And you might have to really think about what is it that they have in common? Sometimes they seem so different, but then ultimately there's like this one common thread. All right, are we ready for the next one? Seeing some head nods. Okay. What do people get from working with you? What is their takeaway? What do they say, oh, thank you for? I'll give it one more minute. All right. So that very mellow music I was playing for you is actually a frequency to activate intuition and clarity. So hopefully that helped you out a little bit. And what you're doing here is just taking a little bit of time to maybe see things from a different perspective, or think about things that you don't normally think about, and then be able to use them as you're communicating with the people you want to attract. So who was it that's drawn to you? Who is it? Well, it's maybe it's the people who are in their bare feet. They got a little bit of a wild streak, but they've been told their whole life that they should not. They've been tamed their whole lives. And now I'm going to come and tell them it's okay to have that little bit of a wild streak. I give you permission to not keep up with the Joneses. And saying things like that for that person is going to, what? Huh? Their ears are going to perk up, right? Maybe you're the mortgage broker who loves to go skydiving. Well, all the skydiving people are going to be like, what? Huh? I love that too. So you can use like the things that you love to make yourself stand out. Maybe you do a lot of skydiving posts and say, hey, is, getting a mortgage ever feel like free falling? Or just, you can play with all these different things to attract your tribe of people. You're communicating from the heart. And so people are hearing you, they're seeing you, and they're being drawn in. I'm going to do a real quick stop share and just check in with you. How is everyone? We okay? Anyone get any kind of insights? Anything new come up for them? Yeah? Does anybody want to share any of it? Well, don't all volunteer at once.
There.
Thank you, Carol.
You're welcome. So I have to tell you, first of all, Kahlua, this was extremely enjoyable to me. I came out of a comfort zone because I really do struggle with, looking within and answering some of these questions. But what popped for me unbelievably was that writing down what I love to do flowed so incredibly easy that I didn't want to stop.
Nice.
A lot
And I
of thought.
see some more heads nodding. They agree with you too.
But then you got to that question of what you do well, and I just
Oh,
went,
no.
whoa, like that wall went up, and
Yep.
I really didn't answer anything after that first question. I mean, I did, like, I have little blurbs down here, but nothing like that first question. And I look forward to how I'm going to sit down and try to really get the flow moving on the rest of those questions.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, ultimately, wouldn't it be amazing if we could just, get right to it in, 45 minutes? We would all be enlightened. Oftentimes it takes a little bit more of, digging and going back and practicing. And that's why we're always works in progress. Yeah. Donna.
One time I had a business coach, but she asked me, like, what are 3 things you do really well?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, love all my animals. And I couldn't think of another thing.
Yeah.
And she said, well, I bake the best brownies that blah, blah. I said, oh, no way. I bake better brownies than you do. And I told her how I did it. And so she laughed at me, but she made me write 100 things that I do well. And that was the toughest thing. I mean, I ended up like having to ask friends because I didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's the same way with this. I'm going to continue working on these sheets, but it may be like talking with friends and say, what do you see in me?
Yeah.
Sometimes we're just blind to ourselves.
And culturally, we've also been taught to minimize our assets, our attributes. I remember being very young, and dance came very naturally for me. I was good at it. And I went in, I took a year of dance. Immediately the next year, they advanced me to the advanced class. And I was really excited about that. And then the advanced class was going to be going on point, right? And like, oh my gosh, every little girl's doing point shoes on, And I remember, they weren't sure because I had not been training as long as the other girls, and they had to decide on it. And ultimately they decided to let me go on point with everybody else. I was so excited. And then I was immediately told by my stepmother, do not tell people about that. People are going to think you're bragging. They're going to think you're obnoxious. And so I was immediately told to not be proud of my accomplishment, to not be proud of what I'm good at, and to shut up about it. And so, that carried through for many, many years. And so a lot of times we've been told, like, when we start to say like, oh my gosh, I did something well, really, and it might just be a look, it might just be, a comment, but we're put back into that place of don't celebrate. And we create these meanings and these beliefs, and then we long-term get into these habits of not appreciating our skills, our assets, the things, our genius, right? Our genius. So it's really easy to get into that place. All right, I'm gonna go back one more time to the screen, hopefully without any technical difficulties. And show. All right, are you with me at the where? All right.
Yes.
So these are all the places where we're going to use, the stuff that we've come up with, the things that we're good at, the things that we enjoy, right? Our hobbies, our passions, we can incorporate that into our brand. It becomes our brand, and we're going to use it in our newsletters and in social media and in your signature talk. you can refer back to it. And even in your sales conversations, when you're talking with people about what you do, you know, sales does not have to be icky. It's just a relationship. It's a connection. And then how we're going to use them. Well, we're going to listen more than we talk, right? We want to hear what other people want from us. And that's how we're going to continue to get better at even answering these questions. We go on listening tours, and we're going to listen to what people are saying. We're going to listen to what they're responding to when we post things on social media. We're going to listen to, you know, everything they're saying in a one-on-one sales conversation, because basically, you know, your person is going to sell themselves. They're going to tell you everything that you need to hear if you're listening. And then you just might tell them a couple things back, like, hey, this is how it can help, how I can help you. And then, am I dating myself when I say you got to be cruel to be kind? Does anybody remember that song? So the pain medication industry is worth $25.4 billion. Pain medicine, opioids, $25.4 billion. Why? Nobody wants pain. People will go out of their way to avoid pain, to the point where even they'll get into complacency. This is my card, you know, these are the cards I was dealt. I'll deal with it. I'm just gonna, whatever, you know, I'll take a pill for it. I'll do this, and just as much as they can minimize the pain. And, you know, without judgment, I'm an observer of people, right? That's why I was really great at behavior analysis. So I'm an observer of people. I observe without judgment. And I remember being at a doctor's office, and, you know, there was this person who had diabetes, leg amputated, you know, and a bag full of medication on their lap, but then they were also eating junk food. And for many people, they would say, oh my God, what an idiot, you know. But the thing is, they had just gotten to this place of complacency, right? This is where I am. And so sometimes people will stay in that place unless you push them out of it. So sometimes you have to dig into the pain just a little bit, right? We're not here to like be mean or hurt people, or, you know, but sometimes in order to create change, right? When you want to create change, you've got to dig into that. Donna, you've got a, you know, your business is, for the record, you're doing background check into remember hiring the person, and you spent all these hours training the person and this and that, only to find out that they were stealing from you, or, you know, like dig into those bad experiences and remind them it's really not that great and it can be better. You don't have to go through that. I mean, it's so easy. It's a quick check. It doesn't cost a lot. Hello? You know, you sometimes have to remind them that, yeah, it's okay, right? People get into that. It's okay, it's fine, it's fine. Well, it doesn't have to be just fine. It can be amazing. And I'm here to help that, right? So cruel to be kind means that I love you, okay? And then the last thing is the call to action, your act now button, right? So, and this is something, you know, as I teach you all of these things, I am actively working on them. I am your, you know, guide on the side, not the sage on the stage. So I tend to be, you know, really bad about the call to action, you know, at the end of videos or in your social media. You want to do a call to action, and they can be a soft call to action or a hard call to action. And so 75% of the time you want to do soft, where that's going to be like, hey, send me a, you know, comment, or, you know, what do you think about this? Or just, you know, a real soft thing. And then 25% of the time you want to do that hard. Hey, reach out to me. We need to talk. Let's talk about this. Go to my website, sign up for the email list, you know, something a little bit more concrete, really pulling them in. So that 75-25 split is about where you want to land, and just, you know, just start incorporating it. If you forget to add that call to action, don't beat yourself up. Just do it the next time. Do something to remind yourself, right? And so in practicing what I preach, I'm going to do a call to action. So I hope that this was valuable for you. I'm going to open it back up again in just a second and we can talk some more. But if you would like to be on my email list and also receive a free meditation, you can go to imperfectlyamazing.com. And then I also have a group on Facebook called Clarity with Kalua. And I have lots and lots and lots of free materials on there. And they're separated by units. So like there's like this whole unit on supporting sleep naturally. It's a movement and meditation on there. There's a little guidebook, you know, so there's all these different things that can support you naturally, simply, and, you know, just joyfully. Because truly, I believe, you know, living your best life is done with joy, not punishment. So, and then of course, there's claritywithkalua.com is the website. So that's mine. And I want to come back and see all of you lovely people, and would love to hear any feedback, have any questions, anything you'd like to say.
I just wanted to share when you were doing the howling at with the wolf, sometimes letting that silliness out or that emotion out is so much fun. We went to Bald Head Island one time and they have a full moon ritual there, or had, I don't know what they're doing now with social distancing, where everybody congregates and for the moon to rise, and then everybody starts howling at the moon. And it's just such a fun release of that. And I've been thinking a lot about, you know, our ability to be playful and silly, and the discomfort that we felt in that shouldn't happen. We should be able to feel comfortable being a little silly and playful. And at some point in time, that was my question yesterday when walking in the rain at the beach, is when did I become so serious and stop being playful?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We need to really think about that for ourselves. And so I thank you for that reminder.
Thank you. Yeah, it's, you know, we become so cerebral. We get so stuck in our heads. And I often find that we get to this place of not finding the answers because we're thinking about them too hard. So as soon as we get out of our heads and just be silly for a couple minutes or unblock, you know, just shake it out, let things go. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you know, like it just hits you. Yes, Donna.
Hey, I've got just two things. One, I occasionally will throw my head back and start howling to get my dog to howl, because that's just funny. I don't care. I mean, you know, it's funny. And one of the things I wrote down on my "What do I do well" list is be silly. You know, because I like that. It takes out, like you said, it just like shakes you out a little bit, you know. And another thing I was going to mention was I learned a while back that if you're just having a rough day or you're blocked for some reason, to take a white sheet of paper and maybe get a marker and just start writing down everything you're thinking. It's kind of like
Brain dump.
What?
Brain dump.
Yeah, it's kind of like a brain dump. Exactly. Yes, and just that really helps sometimes.
Hey, Kalua.
Yes.
You know, once I heard Laura Talbot do this presentation where she talked about stuff in her life, you know, and I could totally see how the skill set that she had to be successful in that time in her life plays into how wonderful a realtor she is at this time. It also helped me connect with her because we had so many more things in common than I ever knew.
Mm-hmm.
And when I meet other people, it's easy for me to refer her because I can speak about her. And I think that if you're in a position where you're doing these presentations, either virtually or live, and you incorporate some of the things that you do well and some of the things that you love, that you're going to have that same kind of success. People are going to find things in common with you. People are going to be more comfortable referring you and having something to say other than, oh, I know a realtor, here's a phone number. Like I can say a lot of things about her because she was very brave and told me things, you know, in that presentation. So I think that it's more powerful than maybe people realize.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that I see sometimes is that everybody goes into this class and they all learn the same message. And then, you know, you get like 6 Facebook messages of everybody saying the same thing. And of course, am I going to respond to any of them? I mean, let's be honest. They're all in the same class. They're all selling me something. But when somebody is like, you know what, this is what I do because this is what I love. And I want to provide a service for you that I think is valuable. And here's a little bit more about me. Now, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I really want to be around that person. I want to work with that person. I want my house from that person. I want my photographs from that person. I want my dog massaged by that person, right? We have all those things that we're just completely drawn to that person because they've been vulnerable and they've shared a little bit with us. All right. Well, yes, Anna.
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing and going to a little more depth about the call to action. By nature, I'm an introvert, so that's the part I kind of struggle with. I'm great at doing the post and whatever, but it's like I get to the end and I'm like, okay, what do I do now? So thank you for kind of, and I'm a detail person, so thank you for kind of breaking that down, and that'll make me more conscious of how I'm ending those posts and what I'm doing.
Oh, good.
So thank you.
And I've got called out on that because I've been told you're an excellent educator. You give amazing information. We learn so much from you every time. There's never a call to action. So
Yeah.
I'm really, really thinking about that more. There's not a next step. I love to educate. That's one of my things that I do well. But yeah.
Yes, I'm equally guilty, guys.
I really enjoyed this, like the whole activity, the exploring. But you said you were using a kind of music that promotes that. What was that?
It was solfeggio. I'll type it. So if you go on YouTube and you search solfeggio, and you can even say there's different frequencies. And this one, I just searched solfeggio clarity. And it came up with this one that was like intuition and clarity. And this, I was like, ooh, that sounds good. So, but there's one for cleansing negativity, which is nice to have playing in the house. There's a bunch of really nice ones.
Oh, I think you mentioned that before, but the whole process was great. So.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, because, you know, it's great to get information, but I feel like sometimes we're in that information overload. And it's like you have all this information coming at you, but you never have time to actually do anything with any of it. It's like it just sits on your should list, you know. So just taking the time to sit there and let's start the ball flowing, you know, the ball rolling. And then maybe if you want to go back to it and like, oh, I have more thoughts about it, and just leave it as an open working document that you can constantly check back in with.
Did you spell the word out?
Yeah, it's in there in the chat. Can you see it?
I don't even see it. No.
No?
Did you not hit?
You know what? Because it went private. I don't know why. Okay. Thank you. I just sent it to Nola for some reason.
That's like insider information then, if you ask me. Somebody call the SEC on you.
All
Hey, you
right.
know what I was thinking with, I work with a mentor and he was saying, I said to him, it's hard for me to ask for people. I like to give things, but it's so hard for me to ask. So he goes, Linda, don't you feel wonderful when you're helping people? And I'm like, yes, I love it. He goes, well, why would you withhold that from somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
So I never thought about it that way, you know?
People like to help.
Yeah.
And a couple of things that I've been trying to put in my 30-second elevator speech, so to speak, is like, I'm not good at cold calls. I mean, I look at them like I'm going to meet a friend, and that's how I try to keep it in my mind. But a friend of mine shared, like, well, first they say, my name is Donna Pate. I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news, or I'm sorry, the good news is that I'm not a robot. The bad news is this is a sales call, right? And so you kind of get them laughing, and then you would say something like, well, I'm pretty bad at cold calls. Do you want to hang up now? And it just gets them laughing and gets you like on the same level. And that's what I like to do. I like to get people laughing with me. You know, just say, I'm a normal person. You're just, you know, it levels. And most everybody loves to laugh. So.
And that's one of your things. You like to laugh and you like to joke. And so that would be a lot of what you incorporate into your message is laughter, you know?
Right. And it's hard to do with legal stuff. Believe me.
I bet you can find a way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, if I know we're running over a little bit here, so I'll stay on, but I just want to also, if you weren't here at the beginning, when I announced next week is a little bit of a twofold. We're doing the hot seat with a presentation. So Dana's going to do she's going to practice her signature talk and let us give her some feedback. So we'll get to learn, but also she'll be in the hot seat, so she'll get to learn.
Thanks for allowing me to do that. It won't be too long. So it'll be like maybe about 15 minutes max.
Yeah.
Because I already have like notes out. It's just getting more feedback from like you all y'all's perspective. Because it's like, you know what you were saying before, it's like we get in our own head and it's like we overthink things sometimes. And it's just good to have feedback on other people's experience or outlook, I guess, from the outside, you know?
Yeah, just getting out of that. I know, like, I'll say things and to me, it's very clear. And people are like,
yeah,
what are you talking about? Like, your website is like, I don't know what you do. Yeah, I'm like, crap. So getting other people to help you with that is so invaluable. Yeah.
What you're here for.
Well, thank you everyone for being here. I really appreciate it. And
I'm sorry. Okay, real quick, I have something coming up on Thursday next week. And I'll post it on the 1089 group. I have a essential oils basics class. If you are curious at all about why I keep talking about essential oils as tools for our wellness and our life, and what makes essential oils companies different, because there are a lot of them out there, then I'd love for you to hop on and just learn about what they are, why you might want to use them in your life, and a quick little education thing about the basics of what essential oils are. So that's next Thursday at 8.
Is that 8 a.m. or p.m.?
PM.
p.m.?
Yeah. And it's a Zoom link. I'll post that on, I'm going to do a meetup as well, but I'll post that on the page. And
Good. That'll be interesting.
yeah.
Definitely.
Oh,
Anybody else have any announcements, events?
Well, I can just say I have my info in there about the special I'm running, the coronavirus special, $250 off a full gallery. But if you're a 1099 lady and the $250 quite doesn't work, I'm going lower than that. You might even get a free gallery. It depends on my craziness. You know, just let me know you're a 1099 lady. That special, I might change it for just for the group. So, you know, if you want to do a photo session, that special is good until the end of June. But if you say 1099 lady, you might get even a better special.
Thank you, Tammy.
And I'd like to say, as a recent recipient of her services, I was very pleased and got a ton of very usable photos that I'm excited to be in possession of. And if you're not able to get out, like most of us, right, this is a great thing to do, because later on when we're all going out, you won't have time. So now's the time to do it.
That's true.
And I come to you with backdrops.
Good.
Yes. She hung them in my backyard. It was really incredible.
And then we went to the shade so neither one of us would pass out.
That's right. That's right.
Getting a
Gotcha.
cooling hat, though, that has a cooler in it. So I won't try to pass out next time.
Yeah, good idea. Oh, and I recommend candy bars in your pockets for her.
Yeah, because my
Oh.
diabetes goes from here to down below so fast. It went like that with walking from front to the back. It dropped immediately. So good
What's
thing
your
for me.
favorite?
My favorite chocolate?
Yeah.
Well, I had a Babe Ruth that day, and that didn't work. But I like Babe Ruth's Butterfingers.
Yeah. I'll keep them in my pocket.
But yeah, just tell me you're a 1099 lady. You'll probably get the gallery for free just because I'm bored. I want to get out of the house. But most clients I will do the $250 for. But you ladies, I'm basically doing the gallery for free because it's just easier to send to you. And all I ask is a good review, a video review, and if you can Google review for me, I'd appreciate. Linda, I did send you the link for my Google review. I forgot to do that too. So.
Yes, but I've been on this Zoom call and haven't gotten to it yet.
I know. I've been doing 3 things plus phone calls. The phone keeps ringing. That's why I keep going offline. So I'm going to go. I have to run to the pharmacy to get my medication and get home for the next Zoom.
Everybody have a good day. I'm gone.
Goodbye, Donna.
Bye.
Bye, sweeties.
Bye.
Bye.
Don't forget to end the recording.
Yeah, I'm doing that now.
Tallulah, can I